This is a second response to the objection regarding the divine will of creating such beings that will disobey God Almighty, and then God Almighty will punish them eternally in hellfire. And the objection is, why would God Almighty create such wretched creatures that would disobey Him when He knew they would disobey Him? And why would God choose to punish them eternally? Now the question is flawed in many senses, which I've already outlined, that the attribute of God Almighty being merciful is when God wills to be merciful to those whom He chooses to be merciful to. Meaning God is not compelled to be merciful at all times. So the comparison given, that the similitude is of a man who claims to his wife being loyal, and then he's found with another woman and then claims I have other attributes. This similitude is dismissed because the comparison is unfair. But when we say God Almighty is merciful, that is merciful by choice, not by compulsion. God is not forced to be merciful, unlike a married man who must be loyal to his wife because of the marriage contract. So God is not contracted to human beings to be necessarily merciful to them. Additional to this, someone mentioned that Him being the most merciful or the all merciful. This is in fact a matter of translation, because the meaning of Ar-Rahman is the merciful. But who is He merciful with? Those whom He wills to be merciful with. Now if someone says His punishment of those beings is an evil, then we would ask, this action of God Almighty, would we classify this action as being good or evil? If we classify this action as being evil, then the response to that would be that we are superimposing human ethics and morals upon our Creator. Meaning, how does one determine what is good or bad? How does one define morality and ethics, and how does one determine whether a particular action of God Almighty is acceptable or not? The response from Islamic theology would be that God does what He wills. Meaning, if God wills to create something and then that creature disobeys God Almighty and therefore is punished eternally in hellfire, this is the will of God Almighty, because we cannot superimpose our construct of thought. So the counter question is, why would God create us with this mind that we would think that this punishment is bad? But the response to that is that these things are subjective. For instance, if you travel back in time and you came across Hitler the baby, the child, if you killed Hitler, you will save him from the evil, meaning Hitler the baby, the child. If you killed him, you will save him from slaughtering 6 million Jews and Romanians and other people that he killed and causing World War II, and you will stop him from multiple evils. But again, if you killed him, you have killed a child. So how does one go and determine what is ethical and moral? The only way is that God Almighty is the only one who can tell our weak, frail human mind what is determined as being good or bad. Meaning, the human mind alone is not sufficient to determine what is good or bad. God Almighty is the only one who can tell us that this thing is judged as being good and this thing is judged as being evil. So we cannot superimpose our morality or our ethics upon God Almighty. No, we follow divine revelation, and that divine revelation tells us what is good or bad. Otherwise, in some societies, cannibalism is deemed as being good. In other societies, cannibalism is deemed as being bad. So when God decided to create, God has willed to create human beings, He knew that despite having intellect, having freedom, and the correct message reaching them, meaning they do not have any societal pressures, no psychological issues, they still choose to disbelieve. Then God decided, meaning He willed, to punish them eternally. This is the will of God Almighty. But why eternal? Why is the punishment eternal? The response to that is that the sin of disbelief is of such a nature that when a person decides to be an atheist or a disbeliever, if he is questioned, like Christopher Hitchens was questioned, that if he lived on earth forever, would he disbelieve in God Almighty? People like him would say, yes, even if we lived on earth forever, we were immortal, we would still disbelieve in God Almighty. And some of them say, even if we saw God Almighty, we would disbelieve in Him. So sins are two types. Those sins which are short-lived, those sins are punished for a short period of time and may even be forgiven by God Almighty. And that's an effect of His mercy. But a second, the nature of disbelief and those who are punished eternally is such that even if they lived on earth forever, they would still remain as disbelievers, therefore they are punished eternally also. Additional to this, the Quran tells us that those disbelievers who are punished are such people that if they were returned back to earth, despite seeing everything, despite witnessing everything, they will still remain as disbelievers. Additional to this, the Quran tells us that those who are being punished for eternally, those people will be such people, فَاعْتَرَفُوا بِذَنْبِهِمْ. They will accept that their punishment is valid. They will even acknowledge this thing in hellfire. Then the last point that was mentioned is, why would a God punish them with such fire that burns the skin, and then if someone burns their finger, they can't bear this pain, so why would God punish them eternally? What is not mentioned by the objector, the former Muslim, is that the bodies will be different to the bodies of this earth. So you cannot analyze the punishment, meaning even the fire is different to the fire of this earth, but likewise the bodies that are being punished in the hellfire are different to the physical bodies that we have on this plane. So the similitude is like a man who commits murder, and when he goes to jail, he accepts the punishment of the government because he knows he has done wrong. And that punishment, nevertheless, he must put up with that punishment because he is guilty. This is the similitude of the people of hellfire, that they had a simple choice. When they have health, they have their faculties working, they are able to comprehend a correct message, they are given a rational understanding, but yet they choose to disbelieve. This choice of disbelief is such that on the Day of Judgment they will realize that they made the wrong choice. This is another quick response to that former Muslim. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to open our minds to understand this. If there is a counter response, God willing, I will also give a counter reply.